I am Ilaria Fava, I am a managing editor for DOAJ, and I will talk to you about why it is important to be indexed in DOAJ and what are our inclusion criteria. DOAJ is committed to indexing high-quality open access journals that are selected on the basis of transparent quality criteria that everyone can find and read on our website. An open access publisher should be interested in being included in DOAJ to check that his journal or journals adheres to the most recent best practices in scholarly publishing. DOAJ helps publishers improving their journal quality by providing them with assistance, feedback and advice from professionals working in the field. In fact, DOAJ relies on editorial groups based in different countries and that are able to assist publishers in the local language. At the moment, DOAJ involves around 190 volunteer editors and associate editors working in around 30 country or language-based editorial groups. When a journal is indexed in DOAJ, policies on potential publication costs, copyright, review process, and so on are clearly available to both authors and readers. Increased transparency of journal policies can help the journal to attract new authors. Moreover, due to a growing interest in open access from research funders that want to monitor the impact of the funded research and journals, if an open access journal is available via DOAJ, it becomes immediately easier to discover, thanks to our powerful search engine and subject classification. In addition to this, DOAJ favors the dissemination of journals information to libraries all over the world, not only via its widget and standard protocols like DOAI PMH, but also because journals' metadata are made available to discovery services, both commercial, as EBSCO Discovery Service, Primo Central, Salmon, and so on, and non-commercial, like OpenAir and Base, and can thus be widely used by a higher number of users. Last but not least, journals adhering to a higher level of openness can be awarded with the DOAJ seal. The criteria for the seal are discussed in a later session. And here are our basic criteria for inclusion. Please note that journals must have an ISSN, either print or online is fine, registered at a local ISSN agency, and that checking ISSN is part of our job at DOAJ. Journals must be fully open access journals. Do not forget that DOAJ does not accept for inclusions journals with restriction on contents like embargo, hybrid journals, registration in order to access. Articles must be available in full text and as separate files. In order to be included in DOAJ, a journal must have a dedicated website that should display prominently all the relevant information about the aims and scope of the journal, information for authors, including article processing charges, even if they are not charged, contact person and information on the publisher, editorial process information, what kind of peer review does the journal perform, how long does it take from paper submission to publication, and so on. And please note that editorial review is allowed only for arts and humanities journals. If there is no review process, the journal is going to be rejected. The editorial board must have at least 5 members. DOAJ accepts exceptions only for art and humanities journals. Of each member, their affiliation must be provided. Being DOAJ the directory of open access journals, we require that the open access statement is clearly displayed on the journal website. DOAJ provides a sample open access statement publisher can reuse to comply with our requirements. Please take in mind that open access doesn't mean free. They are 2 different concepts. Open access means that published contents are freely available to end users and they are allowed to reuse the published contents according to the principles of the Budapest Open Access Initiative. Licenses are fundamental. They define under what conditions a paper can be downloaded and reused. DOAJ recommends using Creative Commons licenses that are widely known and have specific variations according to national and local rules on copyright and reuse. Publishers may want to use their own license, and DOAJ accept them if they are broadly equivalent to CC licenses. To give an example on what licenses govern, They are useful when a journal wants to inform its reader that all published articles are freely available to read and download, but they cannot be reused for commercial purposes, or they should be shared exactly the way they are with the same license. As of copyright, it should be clear who owns it, as it might be retained by the authors or transferred to the publisher. In order to promote the transparency of the full publishing process, DOAJ recommends that the terms of copyright are stated on the journal website. If publishers ask for a transfer of rights, the authors should be aware of them and sign a publication agreement accordingly to know exactly if they are entitled to reuse their own paper for further research activities, if they can republish it with another publisher, and so on. Both applying and being indexed in DOAJ is totally free. Publishers are, of course, welcome to donate, but this is an option. DOAJ encourages publishers to keep the journal updated when its policies change and help us increase our knowledge base and index by providing us with journals metadata. Publishers can provide data to DOAJ in two ways: using the XML upload available in their private area of the DOAJ website, or using the DOAJ API. Publisher receives an API key with their account, and this allows them to submit metadata in an automated and easy-to-use way. I hope you find this useful, and thanks for listening.